Continue crocheting for 32 rounds. Start with 1 chain stitch. Work 1 single crochet in each stitch. Complete the corresponding number of single crochets as indicated in the chart. After completing the single crochets, note that the stitch pattern within the red square brackets in the chart is special. First, work 1/2 double crochet in the adjacent single crochet stitch on the left side. Then make 5 chain stitches. Go back to the second chain from the hook and work 1 slip stitch. And continue by working 3 more half double crochets. At this point, all the stitches on the chain are completed. Next, the chart indicates ta, which means 1/2 double crochet, 2 stitches together. Please pay attention. First, yarn over. Insert the hook into the hole of the previous half double crochet stitch. Draw the yarn through. Now you have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over again. And insert the hook into the adjacent single crochet stitch on the left side. Draw the yarn through. Now you have 5 loops on the hook. Yarn over again. And draw through all 5 loops on the hook. This completes 1/2 double crochet, 2 stitches together. The stitch pattern within the red brackets is also completed. Let's take a look. The stitch pattern inside the red brackets covers these 2 single crochet stitches. Now, continue crocheting. 1 single crochet. After completing this, it is the stitch pattern in the black brackets, indicating that you will work all stitches in the same stitch. First, make 1 single crochet. Then work 3 chain stitches. Go back to the 3rd stitch from the end. Pick up the top loop of the chain and make 1 single crochet. After completing this, then work into the hole where you just made the single crochet, make 1 single crochet. This completes the stitch pattern in the black brackets. After completing it, continue with the corresponding number of single crochets as indicated in the chart. After finishing the single crochets, work 5 half double crochets. After completing the half double crochets, the chart shows fa, which indicates 1 double crochet 2 stitches together. Yarn over, pull the yarn through. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. Now you have 2 loops remaining on the hook. Yarn over again. Insert into the adjacent stitch on the left side. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. Now you have 3 loops remaining on the hook. Continue to yarn over and draw through all 3 loops. That completes 1 double crochet 2 stitches together. After completing, continue crocheting all the way to the next set of square brackets stitch pattern. Once completed, again working in the same stitch. Complete the stitch pattern within the square brackets. Continue with one single crochet in the next stitch on the left side. Then work the stitch pattern in the red square brackets. Starting with 1/2 double crochet, 2 stitches together. Yarn over with your crochet hook. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over again. Insert into the next stitch on the left side. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over once more, and draw through. That completes the half double crochet, 2 stitches together. Then continue with 5 chain stitches. Go back to the second to last stitch, and work 1 slip stitch. Continue with 3 half double crochets. Finally, in the same space, where you did the half double crochet, 2 stitches together, work 1 half double crochet. This completes the stitch pattern in the red brackets. Finish the remaining single crochets. After completing the single crochets, join with 1 slip stitch. Chain 1 to secure. Cut the yarn. Thread the yarn tail with a darning needle. Weave in the yarn tail. After weaving in the yarn tail, trim the excess yarn. This completes the wig. The remaining ponytail section uses simpler stitch patterns, which have been demonstrated earlier. Follow the chart to crochet it. Note that after completing the ponytail, you need to leave a yarn tail of about 30 centimeters. This will be used for sewing and assembling. Here's what the completed ponytail looks like. Up to this point, we have finished explaining all the crocheted parts of the hair. Next, I'll demonstrate the assembly process. First, apply glue all over the inside of the wig. Take out the crocheted head that we made earlier. Place it in the proper position on the head. The back of the wig should be about 9 rounds away from the neck opening. The front should be about 6 rounds away from the eye sockets. Check if the ear positions are correct. Finally, apply glue along the edges of the wig. Tidy up the shape of the hairline. You can use pins to secure it in place. Pay attention to fixing the hairline on both sides symmetrically. Wait for the glue to dry completely. This will secure the wig firmly in place. Next, sew the ponytail. Take out the crocheted ponytail we just made. Thread the sewing needle. At the fourth round of the top of the wig, sew evenly. When you reach this point, add some stuffing. After completing the stuffing, continue sewing. Once the last stitch is done, tie a knot to secure it. Hide the yarn tail inside the ponytail. Break the yarn. Remove the pins. This completes the assembly of the hair. Next, I'll demonstrate the method for making the headband. The headband consists of fabric piece 1, fabric piece 2, fabric piece 3 and 4 ties. All 3 fabric pieces start with a foundation chain. They are worked back and forth in rows. Fabric piece 2 needs to be crocheted twice. Each part must wrap thin wire with silver thread. Crochet the edging for decoration. After completing all parts, assemble the headband. Finally, make the ties for the headband. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific making method. Let's start with fabric piece 1. Take out the corresponding color of yarn. Start with the number of chain stitches that match the stitch count in the chart. After completing the foundation chain, follow the pattern in the chart to crochet the first 2 rows. Once those are completed, I will mainly demonstrate the crocheting method for row 3. First, make 4 chain stitches according to the chart. Skip 2. Pick up a loop from the chain stitch. Crochet 1 slip stitch. Continue to pick up the loop on the left side. Crochet 2 single crochets sequentially. After completing, turn the workpiece counterclockwise. The stitch technique on this chain stitch corresponds to the last single crochet of the previous row. The chart indicates K here, which means skip 1 stitch without crocheting. In the next stitch, crochet 1 slip stitch. Slightly tighten the slip stitch, then make 7 chain stitches. After completing, go back 2 stitches, crochet 1 slip stitch and 5 single crochets. Once done, return to this row. Skip 1 single crochet stitch without crocheting. In the next stitch, crochet 1 slip stitch. Then continue with 11 chain stitches. Go back 2 stitches and crochet 1 slip stitch. Followed by 2 single crochets. Then crochet 3 half double crochets. Then crochet 4 double crochets. At this point, all the stitches on the chain are completed. Go back to the previous row's stitches. The notation K2 in the chart means skip 2 stitches without crocheting. On the 3rd stitch from the left, work 1 slip stitch and pull tight. Then crochet 7 chain stitches again. Go back 2 stitches, and crochet 1 slip stitch followed by 5 single crochets. After completing, skip one stitch and crochet one slip stitch. Make sure to pull the slip stitch tight. Continue with 5 chain stitches. Go back 2 stitches, and crochet 1 slip stitch followed by 3 single crochets. Skip 1 stitch without crocheting. Pay attention here, it's 2SL. Which means you need to work 2 slip stitches in a row, don't miss any stitches. The rest of the stitches should be worked using this method. Continue crocheting according to the pattern chart. The stitch count and techniques in this row are more complex. Be mindful not to miscount the stitches. After completing the last stitch, secure it with 1 chain stitch. Leave a tail of about 15 centimeters, which will be used for assembling and sewing later. Here's what the completed fabric piece 1 looks like. As you can see, both sides are perfectly symmetrical. Next, take out the silver wire and thin wire from the kit. Wrap the thin wire along the 3rd row of fabric piece 1. Crochet a round of edges for decoration. Use the right side of the 3rd row as the right side of the piece. Start from here. Insert the hook and pull the silver wire through. Begin with 1 chain stitch as the starting chain. The starting chain doesn't count as 1 stitch. Then, continue to insert the hook into this hole. At this point, pick up the thin wire. First, fold one end in half. Place the thin wire between the hook and the yarn. Crochet 1 single crochet. Next, continue crocheting single crochets while wrapping the thin wire. Press down the starting yarn tail. Move to this pointed position. Insert the hook into the tip. Crochet 1 single crochet. Then crochet 2 chain stitches. Go back to this hole and crochet 1 single crochet. Fold the thin wire. At this point, you can cut off the starting yarn tail. This will form a pointed shape. Rotate the piece. Move to this side and continue crocheting single crochets. Here, pick up the thread behind the single crochet. Continue crocheting single crochets in sequence. After completing, continue folding the thin wire. Rotate the piece. Move to this side and continue crocheting single crochets. At the pointed shape, pick up the topmost hole as well. Make 1 single crochet. Then make 2 chain stitches. Go back to the stitch hole and make 1 single crochet. Everyone, follow this method to crochet the entire edge on this side of the piece. Pay attention to each point's position. You need to make 1 single crochet and 2 chain stitches, then another 1 single crochet, all in the same hole. This will form the pointed shape. As you can see here, I have completed it entirely. Finally, crochet 1 chain stitch to secure. Pull a large loop and fasten off the yarn. Leave about 1 centimeter of thin wire and cut it off. Fold it neatly like this to prevent the wire from slipping out. Finally, use a yarn needle to hide the excess yarn tails inside the fabric piece. Note that you should not hide this long yarn tail. Keep it for later sewing. This completes the demonstration of the crocheted section for piece 1. Next, move on to crochet piece 2. The crocheting method for this part is quite simple. Start with the corresponding number of chain stitches as indicated in the chart. After completing, skip 2 and crochet 1 slip stitch. Then crochet 2 single crochets. Followed by 1 single crochet increase. After that, crochet 2 half double crochets. Then complete with 1 double crochet 2 stitches together. Chain 1. Continue crocheting double crochets. 1 half double crochet. Then 1 single crochet. And finish with 1 slip stitch. This completes the section. Stretch the loop. Leave a yarn tail and fasten off. This completes one piece. Everyone, follow the same method to crochet another piece. Finally, use silver yarn to wrap the thin wire for the edging. After crocheting, leave 5 centimeters of thin wire and cut. This completes the edging for the fabric piece. Note here, the edging for the other piece is slightly different, as the two pieces need to be symmetrical. So when crocheting the edging for this piece, you need to have the wrong side facing up. Start crocheting the edging from the other side. This is what the two pieces will look like when completed. Set them aside for later use. Continue with piece 3. First, follow the chart to crochet row 1, then move on to row 2. Chain 1 to start. Turn the work counterclockwise. First, make 5 single crochets. After completing them, the chart indicates, carry yarn, here, pull up the loop to enlarge it. Directly pass the ball of yarn through. Then tighten the loop. This completes carrying the yarn. Continue by threading the yarn with your finger. Skip 3 single crochets. Draw the yarn through from the 4th stitch on the left side. Note that the carried yarn should not be pulled too tight. Make 1 chain stitch as a turning chain. The turning chain does not count as a stitch. Continue working single crochets, 1 stitch to another. After completing the last stitch, make 1 chain stitch to secure. Leave a 15 cm tail and cut the yarn. Move on to the 3rd row. Count 20 single crochets from right to left. Remember to include the 3 skipped stitches in your count. This is the spot where you should be. Insert the hook. Draw the yarn through. Make 1 chain stitch as a turning chain. Work 3 single crochets to the left. Remember to press down on the yarn tail. Make 1 chain stitch as a turning chain. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. Work back and forth, 3x. Continue until you reach the 9th row. After completing, make 1 chain stitch as a turning chain. Turn counterclockwise. Skip 1 stitch and work a single crochet in the next stitch. Work 1 slip stitch. Secure with 1 chain stitch. Cut the yarn. Trim the starting tail of the yarn. Then, similarly, weave in the thin wire. Crochet the edging on this side. Crochet to the carrying yarn position. Work an extra stitch at the corner. Here, you need to wrap the carrying yarn and crochet it together. Crochet up to this point. Fold the thin wire. Crochet the edge. After completing, secure with one chain stitch. Cut the yarn. After finishing, do the same on the other side. Crochet the edging with silver yarn. You don't need to wrap the thin wire on this side, just complete it. Next, I'll show you how to assemble the headband. First, apply glue to the wrong side of piece 1. Pick up the head part with the opening facing forward. Attach it to the ponytail like this. You can use pins to secure it. Thread the sewing needle. Sew the opening slightly. When you reach the last stitch, go through one more time like this, then hide the yarn tail inside the ponytail. Cut the yarn. Next, take out the metal accessories from the kit. Apply glue to the wrong side. Stick it on the front opening position. Wait for the glue to dry. Then take out 2 pieces of piece 2. Attach them symmetrically on both sides of the ponytail like this. First, fold the thin wire in half and insert it into the ponytail. You can use glue to secure it. Once it's fixed, thread the sewing needle. Pass the thread through. Then go back. Making the seam more secure. Finally, cut off the yarn tail. This completes one side. Everyone can follow this method. Do the same for the other side. This completes piece 2. Next, take out piece 3. Apply glue on the wrong side. Wrap it around the ponytail once. After wrapping, sew up the opening. For the last stitch, sew a couple more times. Hide the excess tail inside the ponytail. Cut the yarn. Finally, tidy up the headband. This completes the entire assembly of the headband. Next, let's make the ties. The crocheting method for the ties is special. Take out the silver yarn. Get the beginning and ending tails. Crochet with double strands held together. Pull the tails a bit longer. I left about 3 meters here. Fold both ends in half and start from the middle. Hold the yarn with your left hand. Yarn over the hook to make a slip knot. Wrap the bottom yarn around the hook like this. Pinch the loop with your fingers. Yarn over. Draw through both loops on the hook. Continue holding the yarn. Yarn over the hook. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through. Continue crocheting using this method. The actual project is about 12 centimeters long. You can also adjust the length according to your preference. After reaching the desired length, pull out all the yarn tails. At this point, take out the imitation pearls from the kit. First, thread a small purl using a gold pin like this, then, thread a larger one. Make sure to pass all 4 silver threads through. Since the holes are relatively small, it might be a bit difficult to thread. Please be patient. After threading, tie a knot next to the bead. Then, take the head part and pass it horizontally through the bottom of the ponytail. Pay attention to maintaining symmetry on both sides. After threading, stay close to the ponytail, then tie another knot on this side. After completing the knot, continue threading the beads. Keeping it symmetrical with this side, start with a larger bead, then add a smaller one. After threading, pick up the crochet hook. And place it between the 2 threads in the middle. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. Slightly tighten it. Yarn over again, draw the yarn through. Do this in the same way as the method I just demonstrated. Everyone, continue crocheting. Keep going until you reach the same length as the other side. As you can see, I have already finished here. Finally, crochet 1 chain stitch to secure. Enlarge the loop and fasten off the yarn. Then use a yarn needle to hide the yarn tail inside the tie. Finally, trim off any excess tails. Apply a small amount of glue to the hair tie. Attach the ties on both sides to the corresponding positions on the wig. Continue attaching up to the position behind the ears. Once the glue is dry, remove the pins. Up to this point, the making method for the headpiece has been fully explained. Next, I will demonstrate the making method for the costume section. The costume section includes the dress, the collar, the shoes, the armor and the cape. Let's start with the dress. The dress is completely crocheted. It is divided into two torso sections, torso 1 and torso 2, and the hem, making 3 main parts. The hem is further divided into hem 1 and hem 2. For the torso, we will start from the foundation chain. Work back and forth along the foundation chain. Torso 2 starts on the opposite side of the foundation chain from torso 1. Continue working back and forth. The hem requires crocheting 2 separate pieces. Both pieces are picked up from the last row of torso 2. After completing the crocheting, sew together the back seam. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crochet technique. The stitch pattern for torso 1 is relatively simple. Follow the chart to complete this section first. I have prepared this part in advance. Remember to leave a 20 centimeters long yarn tail for sewing up the back seam. Next, crochet torso 2. This part starts on the same foundation chain as torso 1, but on the opposite side, picking up stitches. Hold the yarn with your finger, starting from the first chain stitch. Draw the yarn through. Make 1 beginning chain to start. Work single crochets correspondingly. Remember to hold down the starting yarn tail as you crochet. After a few stitches, pull the yarn tail tight and cut it off. Continue crocheting this section according to the chart. Once completed, you can fasten off directly. Here's what it looks like when the entire torso is finished. Next, continue crocheting hem 1. Start from the side of waist 2. Count to the 3rd stitch. And insert your hook. Draw the yarn through. First, crochet 24 chain stitches according to the chart. After completing the chain stitches, continue with 3 chain stitches for the turning chain. These 3 chain stitches serve as the beginning chain for the double crochets. Counting as the first double crochet, yarn over, go back to the 4th stitch from the end. Pick up the top loop of the chain, and make 1 double crochet. Continue crocheting double crochets from left to right. After completing, follow the chart pattern to crochet half double crochets. After completing, continue crocheting single crochets. After finishing the last single crochet, on the single crochet to the left of the starting chain hole, make 1 slip stitch. The slip stitch does not count as a stitch, make sure to pull tight. This completes the first row of the hem. Move on to crochet the second row. Make 1 chain as your beginning chain, then crochet single crochets. The beginning chain for the single crochet does not count as a stitch. Turn the workpiece. This means turning it so that the yarn is away from you. Follow the chart pattern to crochet. Complete this row all the way through. The last stitch is a double crochet. It should be made in the third chain, from the previous row's double crochet turning chain. This completes the second row. Move on to the third row. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain for the double crochet. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. Still pick up the back loops. This means the yarn should be away from you. Crochet the corresponding number of stitches according to the chart. After completing the single crochets, skip 1 single crochet and work 1 slip stitch in the next stitch. Make sure to pull the slip stitch tight. This completes the third row. For the remaining rows from the 4th to the 19th, repeat the pattern of the second and third rows. For each odd-numbered row, the slip stitch should be worked 1 single crochet apart from the previous slip stitch. This means each slip stitch on the body will be separated by 1 single crochet. In other words, there should be 1 stitch between each slip stitch. To save time, I will not repeat the demonstration. Please complete these rows on your own. Once the first hem is completed, break the yarn directly. Next, I will explain the crocheting method for the hem too. Follow along the body, from right to left, count to the 27th stitch. This is the position. Start the hem too by picking up the yarn here. There should be an interval of 4 single crochets between the 2 hems. Make sure not to crochet incorrectly, otherwise, the position of the hems won't be symmetrical. The crocheting method for the hem 2 is identical to the hem 1. I won't demonstrate it step by step, you can complete it on your own. Once fully completed, make sure to hide all the yarn tails. Next, take out the small blue lace yarn ball from the kit. Here I will use a different color as a substitute. Crochet slip stitches along waist 1. Working up to the center position. It's roughly 21 slip stitches. At this point, make 1 chain stitch. Then continue to slip stitch the remaining stitches all the way through. After completing the slip stitches, break the yarn directly. Use a darning needle to hide the yarn tails on both sides. Up to this point, the crocheting method for the garment has been fully explained. Set it aside for later use. Next, crochet the collar section. The collar is worked into the front loops of the 23rd round of the body, with the neck facing up. Crochet in rounds. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Insert the hook from the center front of the body. Draw the yarn through. Make one chain stitch. And continue by making one single crochet into the adjacent front loop on the left side. Remember to press down on the starting yarn tail. Then make 2 half double crochets. After completing those, trim the pressed yarn tail. Next, work 4 double crochet 2 stitches together in a row. Followed by 1 double crochet. After completing that, continue with 4 more double crochet 2 stitches together. Then make 2 half double crochets. Followed by 1 single crochet. Finally, join with a slip stitch into the same hole where you started. Pull up the loop to fasten off the yarn. Pull tight. Use a darning needle to hide the yarn tail inside the body. Trim any excess yarn tails. This completes the collar section. Next, let's learn how to make the shoes. Start by crocheting the main piece, then make the sole. To make it easier for you to see clearly, I will demonstrate using a different color here. The stitch techniques used in the crocheted parts of the shoes are as follows. All of these have been demonstrated before. Among them, the third round involves picking up the back loops and crocheting. Follow the pattern in the chart to crochet the shoes until the last stitch. After completing the last stitch, do not make a slip stitch join. Instead, stretch the loop large. Leave about 10 centimeters of yarn tail and cut. Here, I will teach you another method for finishing off. First, thread through a darning needle. Insert the needle into the first single crochet stitch of this round. Then, pass the darning needle through the center V of the last single crochet stitch. Slightly tighten. Finally, weave in the yarn tail into the fabric. Trim any excess yarn tail. The crocheted part of the shoe is now complete. Next, we will make the shoe sole. Start by adding a small amount of stuffing to the shoe. Take out the white textured leather from the kit. Compare it with the fabric and cut out the shoe sole. When cutting, leave some extra space for the shoe tip. Look, I've already pre-cut this one. You can use this sole as a reference. Cut out the second sole to match. Ensure both soles are the same size. Next, apply glue to the sole. Attach the suede side of the textured leather to the shoe sole. Hold it to ensure the toe curls up slightly. Wait for the glue to dry completely. This completes one shoe. Everyone follow the same method to complete the other shoe. Once done, don't put them on yet. Set them aside for later use. Next, we'll make the armor. First, cut out each section of the armor according to the paper pattern. Then, work on the decorative elements for the surface of each armor piece. After completing these, crochet the belt section. Finally, sew together all parts of the armor and attach them to the body. Now, please watch as I demonstrate the specific making method. First, take out the paper pattern from the kit. Cut out the armor pieces according to the pattern. When cutting, it's best to follow the order on the leather material to avoid waste and ensure you have enough. The cutting method is quite simple. Only the upper body part is slightly more complex. Let me explain this section to you. First, cut out the required parts from the paper pattern. Take out the corresponding color of the leather material. Cut out the shapes along the lines of the paper pattern. I have already pre-cut these pieces. The middle part is hollowed out. You can use a water-soluble pen to mark the areas in advance. After marking, fold it neatly like this. Start by cutting a hole in the middle. Then trim the middle part carefully. Be sure to cut carefully. If you damage it, it won't be usable. For the remaining parts of the armor, just cut them out according to the paper pattern. Next, I'll show you how to make the decorative elements on the surface of the armor. Taking the shoulder armor as an example, refer to the diagram showing the arrangement of the claw nails. Place the square-shaped claw nails in the corresponding positions. After completing this, use double-strand silver yarn to make a chain stitch. The length of the chain stitch needs to be just enough to go around the claw nail once. I have already prepared this part. Apply glue on the right side of the chain stitch. And wrap it around the claw nail. Wait for the glue to dry completely. Then use a darning needle to thread the yarn tail to the wrong side of the armor surface. Then trim the yarn tail. This completes one piece of shoulder armor. Follow the same method to complete the other piece of shoulder armor. Let's take a look at the finished product. The leg armors are relatively simple. They are made using single-strand silver yarn for chain stitches, with glue used to create patterns. The edges are glued flat, while the middle part is arched. Next, we have the decorative elements for the armor, which also use single-strand silver yarn to create patterns with glue. Next, we move on to the hem and the upper body. The position and quantity of the studs should be fixed according to the diagram in the paper instructions. For the hem armor, use 2 strands of silver yarn to crochet a round of chain stitches and glue it in place. Note that this part uses double strand yarn for crocheting. For the upper body armor, use blue lace yarn to crochet a round of chain stitches and glue it in place. This concludes the explanation of the decorative elements on the surface of the armor. Since this method is relatively simple, I won't demonstrate each step individually. Make sure to complete all the decorations for each part. Once completed, proceed to assemble them onto the body. Then, sew and glue each section of the armor together. For the shoulder sides and upper body armor, use pins to secure them after gluing. Wait for the glue to dry completely. Continue working on the leg and arm armor. The method for these 2 areas is largely the same. Take a piece of silver yarn, thread the sewing needle. Start from the top. Sew in a zigzag pattern like this. After you finish sewing, sew back in a zigzag pattern again. This completes the stitching. Make sure the beginning and ending yarn tails are on the same side. This creates a cross pattern. Finally, put it on the leg. Pull tight the ties. Tie the yarn tail with a simple knot. Break the yarn. This completes the installation of the leg armor. Everyone put on the other side as well. Follow the same method. Complete the remaining arm armors. To save time, I will skip the decorative elements on the surface of the leg and arm armors. Remember to finish the decorations before attaching them to the body. This is what the completed arm and leg armors look like. Next, take out the clothing you prepared earlier. Thread a darning needle onto the long reserved tail. Pull the clothing through and put it on. Then sew one stitch to another along the back. Pay attention to the position while sewing. Make sure not to misalign. After sewing, tie off and cut the yarn. Next, sew on the armor for the hem. The method is simple. Everyone connect the 4 pieces like this. I've already sewn this part in advance. Here, I'll just demonstrate the sewing method. Don't forget to add the surface decorations first, then sew. After these 3 areas are sewn, wrap it directly around the waist. Take a piece of silver yarn, sew the last part. After 2 stitches, tie off and secure. Then cut the yarn. This way, the hem is also attached. The final part is the waistband. For the crocheted waistband section, everyone crochet all 3 pieces according to the chart. I've already crocheted them in advance. Note that piece 1 is crocheted with blue yarn. Piece 2 is crocheted with black yarn. Piece 3 is crocheted with 2 strands of silver yarn. Next, apply glue to the lychee peel pattern on the chest. Tidy up the hem. And glue it to the front of the body. It should be around this position. After gluing, secure it with pins. Wait for the glue to dry completely. Then take out the lychee peel pattern for the waist. Apply glue on the wrong side of it. Remove the pins. And attach it around the body in a circle. Pay attention while attaching. Make sure to expose the slip stitch on this side. After gluing, insert pins to secure it. Once completed, take out piece 1. And attach the lychee peel pattern around the waist in a circle. Next, take piece 3 and sew it onto piece 2 like this. When sewing, press the starting tail of the yarn inside. Finally, hide the yarn tails. Rotate the seam to the inside. Let the glue dry completely. Then remove the pins. Place piece 3 at the front, wrapping around the waist. Finally, sew up the opening. After sewing, hide and cut the yarn tails. Don't forget to attach the shoulder plates that curl up on both sides. Apply glue along the edge like this. And stick them onto the shoulder straps of the armor top. Insert pins to secure it in place. After gluing, adjust the angle by pinching it like this to make the armor curl up. Do the same for the other side. Wait for the glue to dry completely, then remove the pins. Finally, take out the shoes you made earlier. Add a small amount of stuffing inside the shoes. And apply glue at the heel. Put it on the leg. And this side of the shoe is now attached. Make sure to attach the other side in the same way. Up to this point, the entire armor section is complete. Next, we'll make the cape. First, follow the paper pattern to cut out the cape. After cutting, use a lighter to seal the edges. I have prepared this part in advance. Next, take the black lace yarn and pull out 2 strands. For convenience in this demonstration, I will use other colors instead. Tie a knot at the end. On the shorter side of the cape, along the indented edge in the middle. Sew and finish the edge like this. Fold it in half by about 1 millimeter, and make sure the shiny side of the cape is facing out. Everyone, follow this sewing method. And continue sewing along this side. I will not repeat the demonstration after completing the edge stitching. Next, fold the two corners on either side like this. On the wrong side. Sew this edge together. Continue sewing all the way to the horizontal edge. Tie a knot and cut the yarn. Sew the other side in the same manner. After completing all the sewing, take out the gold ring, sew it onto the position of the pointed end of the cloak. Fold the pointed end like this. Sew several times to ensure it is securely sewn. Finally, tie a knot to secure it. Once sewn, take out the body piece, take a length of yarn that matches the color of the clothing. Drape the cloak. Sew the ring onto the clothing. After securing it firmly, tie a knot and cut the thread. This completes one side of the cloak. Sew the other side using the same method. Next, let's work on the facial decorations, including the eyeballs and the third eye on the forehead. the mouth, and the eyebrows. Please watch as I demonstrate. First, follow the chart. To complete the crocheted parts of the eyeballs, I have prepared these in advance. Add a small amount of stuffing into the eyeballs. After filling, hide and trim the yarn tails. Take out the black flat-bottomed eyes from the kit. Apply glue around the opening of the eyeball. Attach them. Let the glue dry completely. Apply a small circle of glue around the eyeball. Then take a piece of deep black lace number 3. Wrap it around the eye and stick it down. Adjust the details. Let the glue dry completely. Now one eyeball is completed. It should fit well into the eye socket on the head. Follow the same method to complete the other eyeball. After completing the eyeballs, proceed to make the eye on the forehead. Take out the white lace yarn. Crochet 2 chain stitches. After completing, enlarge the loop and cut off. Slightly tighten the slip knot. Apply glue on the right side of the chain stitches. Attach it in the middle position between the second and third rows above the eye socket. It should be around this area. Wait for the glue to dry completely. Use a darning needle to hide the ends on both sides into the head. Trim off the excess tails. Next, take out the dark gray lace yarn. Cut 2 pieces. Use glue to shape them into the form of eyes. You can use tweezers for assistance. Pinch the ends of the eyes to form pointed tips. Finally, use a black pen to dot the pupils in the middle. That concludes the explanation for the eye on the forehead. Next, we will make the eyebrows. Cut 3 pieces of black lace yarn. Each piece should be about 2 centimeters in length. Place them side by side like this. Apply glue to one side. Pinch the ends to form points. You can trim them slightly with scissors if needed. Stick them directly above the eyes. The start of the eyebrow should be positioned above the eye socket in this row. The tail of the eyebrow should be positioned 2 rows above the eye socket. It's roughly in this position. And that completes one side of the eyebrows. Everyone can follow this method. Complete the other side of the eyebrows as well. Ensure that both eyebrows are symmetrical in position. That concludes the method for making the eyebrows. Next, we will sew the mouth. Take out 4-ply combed cotton and acrylic fiber hand knitting yarn of the corresponding color cotton. Extract 1 strand from them. Thread it through the sewing needle. Position it 1 row below the nose. The mouth should be 3 single crochets wide. Sew again at the middle single crochet position. Next, insert the needle through the hole below. Don't pull the thread too tight. Then insert it into the hole on the right side. Finally, exit from any position. Use the sewing needle to slightly adjust the position of the mouth. You can dip the needle in a small amount of glue. Trim off the excess yarn tails. After completing the mouth, apply a small amount of blush to the edges of both cheeks. If you have eyebrow powder or brown eyeshadow at home, you can lightly apply some around the eye area. This completes all the facial decorations. Finally, let's make the weapon. The making method is quite simple. I'll explain using a pre-made example. Start with a single strand of gold yarn and crochet the 2 parts according to the chart. For the 11th row of the first part, start with a separate beginning chain. Work a round of short needle increases in the remaining half stitches of row 8. After completing both sections, set them aside for later use. Next, take out the shaping wire from the kit. Cut one piece about 33 centimeters long and 2 pieces about 26 centimeters long. Place the 3 pieces together. Apply glue. Starting from one end, wind the black lace thread evenly and neatly. Make sure there are no gaps as you wind. Apply glue and wind the thread at the same time. Don't apply too much glue at once. Break the yarn after winding about 1.5 centimeters. Thread a gold ring onto the wire. Continue winding with the gold thread for about 1 centimeter. After winding, slip on a second gold ring. Then continue wrapping with the black lace thread. Wind this section for about 3.5 centimeters. Cut the yarn after winding, slip on another gold ring. Continue winding the gold thread. Wind for about 2 centimeters. Slip on another gold ring. Finally, use the black lace thread. Continue winding until the entire shaping wire is covered. After winding, at this end, there will be a single long piece of shaping wire left. Take this extra piece and remove the outer transparent coating. Set this aside after completing it for later use. Take out the silver textured leather. Cut out 2 suitable shapes according to the paper pattern. Apply glue on the suede side of the silver textured leather. Place the 2 pieces facing each other. Stick them onto the thin wire. Wait for the glue to dry completely. Finally, take out the gold crochet piece you just finished. Add a small amount of stuffing on this end. Use glue to secure it. Attach it to the top. Use a sewing needle for this piece to wrap the crochet piece around where the silver textured leather and thick wire meet. Sew securely, one stitch to another. This concludes the explanation of how to make the weapon. Up to this point, the entire making method for this toy has been explained. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.